The WWC, what the world is watching.
Squad formations. Air, Murphy in the back, Williams in the front, DVA in the front. Should I have Sarah? All these questions. Let's get into it.
600 plus days of last war grinding, battle spawn, lessons learned, strategies mastered. When we talk, you level up. Welcome to the Warzone Wrecking Crew.
Welcome into the WWC, QB18 here, and today we are going to talk about squad formations. There's a lot of questions that come out. You see them all the time. People ask, where should I put people in the lineup? Should I include Sarah and Mason and all kinds of like world boss people? Should I put them in my regular lineup? And where should I put? Should I put DVA in the front? These are all common questions that people have asked. I have been looking at these squad formations quite some time, but I've actually been running tests on squad formations to see mathematically how they come out. And one of my team members, Endless, has been asking for what we call a sandbox to play in for a while, which we used to get from the arena, for those of you that remember back in the day. And then they replaced that, so we have 3v3, and now the arena is kind of like a glorified 3v3, and we can no longer just challenge one-on-one. It's more difficult. We have to change the matchups, and a lot of times they are, you don't know who you're going to fight when you do the matchups, and it just gets a little bit harder to determine, and it's more at random rather than picking the person you want to fight like the arena used to be. And I'll tell you why it's important when we run these tests. So a couple things about the squads and moving people around. So I had reached out and talked to a VIP on 96, a Bria. We had a long conversation and a few weeks ago, and that's when I started putting Murphy in my back middle, instead of Morrison. And that worked quite well with the numbers. And that got me thinking with those numbers, how do those numbers play out overall? Like mathematically, of why is Murphy better here as far as going. So when I talked to VIP 17, almost 18 on my server, King, he actually tried a mix-up in the servers where he tried to, instead of using Murphy, he used Williams in the front and actually was winning 3v3 fights with this lineup. So that was proved to be successful for a while as well. So there's many different lineup changes that we can do here where it proves out. Which one is best and against which squad is what we really want to know. We also want to know what lineup is good with the gorilla versus without the gorilla. There's a lot of things to figure out, okay? And in that sandbox concept, you figure I want to create something that I can do where it allows me to attack over and over again. And I can take those results, plug them in, change lineups, and do that again. So, here at Warzone Wrecking Crew, we've come up with something called Operation Sandbox, which is what I've created for a way to test our lineups. One of the ways to understand of why we're doing this is because in your battle report, when you fight one person and you win and you move over and then you fight another person, or you lose and then you move things around and you fight another person, there's so many variables to take into consideration when you fight different people. So when you look at the different variables and we count them, there are exclusive weapons to consider. There's skills that can be different. There's gear that can be different. There's a drone level that can be different, and skill chips, and boost, and tech, and components, and gorilla, and decoration, and tactic cards, and quality and morale, wall of honor, and the season skill bonus. So that's like 11 different factors without changing anybody, without changing positions. There's 11 different factors. So what I'm doing is creating more of a level playing field in two different places. I want to be able to attack the same person over and over again to keep those variables exactly the same. So I'm attacking the same person, apples to apples. In order to do that, I need to lose a battle, and that's okay to lose a battle. So first, let's jump into Battlefield, and we can challenge the team that comes up. So in this case, it's tank. It would allow me to attack tank. So I can change my formation in any way I want. I can attack tank. And then I can look at the numbers. The damage numbers are right here. My damage taken is right here. Now I can then, against this same exact team, I can change my formation and put Carly on the right, run that same report, and then look at those same damage numbers that I did. Did I do more damage? Did I do less damage? Was I able to take more damage than in one position than the other, which is actually true. We are. So this is really what we want to do over and over again and lose, but we look at the numbers in our loss to see, can we do more damage? An important caveat that I want to make when you're using air or you're fighting air. The number one skill in this game is Schuler's stun. It's also unpredictable. It's the most unpredictable skill in this game. So Schuler can stun 7 times and keep you in a battle that you have no business being in. Or Schuler can stun 1 time and you can completely lose a battle that you should win. I know you look at a lot of those battle reports out there, you share them with me and you ask me, QB, how did I lose this battle? And I'll look and I'll play your video and I'll say, you lost this battle because Schuler didn't stun. You're used to having Schuler stun, and if Schuler doesn't stun, then you can't win. You can't, you can only do so much of a buff without Schuler stunning to help you. So that's one thing that we want to do for a one way to test. And I ran some test results, so I want to go over those with you right now and take a look. All right, first thing I want to do is talk about the positions and how we reference them in numbers, right? So when we say the first position, the second position. So this is going to be the first position, this front right. Then front left, this will be the second position. Then this back right here will be the third. Middle is the fourth, and the back left here is the fifth position. Now, we obviously, it's different when we say back, front, left, right. It gets confusing. So that's why I want to refer to them as numbers. It's easy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll put them in that order. So Lucius is in the 1. Carly is in the 2. We're going to put DVA in the 3. Schuler in the 4. And Morrison in the 5 position. Okay, so that's how we're going to reference them. All right, let's jump into the numbers. I ran 26 battles, mixing up the heroes, running repeated battles in the same position over and over to try to get the data. When you look at the spreadsheet, what I have here, you're looking at a lot of numbers all over the place, so let me explain this. So this column is referring to the first person, which is in the first column is the first position, second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position. That's all that's just damage that they did from the report. Okay, now we take damage taken in the first position, second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position. That's just the damage taken by position. Now we get into total damage. I broke down to the total damage that the team did as a combined, and then I take total damage received as the team did, total damage taken as a team. Then I break it down further, which you don't necessarily need to, but this would be just the 2 front people and what damage they took. So Lucius and Carly together, this is what they took. This is the back 3, so DVA, Morrison, and Schuler, what damage they gave, the damage that they did to the opponent. And this is the damage that they took from Carly and Lucius, and this is the damage that was taken from DVA, Lucius, and Morrison in the back row. Okay. What I've done is I highlighted the greatest attack from position that was done. That's the green in each column. It's the most points in every column. And there's a few things that we can sort out. So if we just look at total damage done by the team, okay, so this is just, right here. So the damage, this is total damage. So total damage done is column R. So this is our total damage done. In this column, if we look at it, we only have, out of 26 attacks, we only had 6 attacks that were over 30. That were over 30 million points worth. That's it. So if I just take those and eliminate those, these were the only 6 attacks that existed with over 30. And if you look at the theme here, it's the back row. 5 out of those 6 is DVA, Schuler in the middle, Morrison on the end. Those were the 3 and how it worked. Okay? So the other one we had was Schuler on the left, DVA in the middle, Morrison on the right. So this isn't uncommon. You're probably used to seeing these, by the way. Both of these conversations talk about. So it's not a total surprise how the numbers came back either. Now, what will be a surprise to you is if you look how Lucius and Carly both, sometimes it was Lucius as the number one and sometimes it was Carly as the number one. So that's weird. So how do we tell which one is better for our testing purposes? Well, one came out the best. So there was only 2 out of these 6 attacks that were for over 35 million in damage. This third one and this first one. If I look at both of those, I see it's DVA, Schuler, Morrison. The only difference I see here is Lucius and Carly are switched in those. So this is pretty much going to concrete that these 3 are what I want. I want to put them in this order of DVA, Schuler, Morrison. How am I going to do these 2? Which arguably can be flip-flopped depending on the battle. For our testing purposes, I want to look now at the total damage taken. And if I look at the total damage taken by the entire team with this position matchup, I show clearly that there was one that was 58 and one that was 57. Both of these lead the pack of these 6 at 58 and 57 million. They were able to take more damage than the other way. And both of those have Carly in the lead spot. So I'm putting Carly, Lucius, DVA, Schuler, Morrison. That would be my pick, and it just so happens that combo was actually the most damage I was able to do. Most damage DVA did in the one spot. Most damage that Morrison was able to do in the most damage taken. Most. Now, when you come into the WWC Discord, I have added, in the Warzone Wrecking Crew Discord, you can find the link in the YouTube chat. I have put 4 new spots for these battle reports that we'll be testing. One will just, these 3 will just be for the battle reports to prove what you ran and what you did. And that can be the tank versus anything, the air versus anything, and the missile versus anything, and that's where your battle reports can go. To discuss the actual findings of those reports, to reference the reports that you just put in there, you can talk in the findings from battle reports. So if you say, hey, I just put 2 reports in there, and it shows that with red gear, Schuler is better from the back, or for the back left or back right, or hey, Sarah, check out the report that we have from Sarah, or whatever, then you put it right in there. And then eventually what we'll do is together we'll start adding up these battles and the battle reports, whatever. The reason why I enlist, and it's so important to get everybody involved in this, because there's so many people from earlier servers. And right now, I can't necessarily run the reports that I need to from your perspective that I want to see and gather information on. You have people that are 3-star and 2-star and the different spots. So we can make recommendations. I just want to have you be able to run those recommendations and prove it out for everybody to know the real answer behind when you 4-star Kim and you put her in the back. This is what the equation comes out to. Okay, and I will share those results as we find them, as they become interesting, over and over again on YouTube, because it's Operation Sandbox. That's what we're running. To me, that'll be the true test of fighting, losing, and getting those results in. All right, before I let you go, there is one more place that we can run these battle tests I've been running, and that's in trucks. So we can do the same thing. Don't forget any trucks. So some people have their sled tech built up, and you can only attack their sled 3 times, and then it won't let you attack anymore. You can try to attack a sled to see if it's more than 3. If you can, then you can attack a sled unlimited amount of times. You can attack a truck unlimited amount of times. As long as you lose, we can attack these things as many times as we want. And that's the key to Operation Sandbox, right? Is losing the battle and then fighting another battle, losing again, and seeing if we did better in whatever formation and whatever gear and whatever we done, okay? So this is really important. Doing this and this whole concept to come up with ways is I really feel is important for a couple different reasons. One, I get really tired of hearing people say they know that you should be doing this or doing that when there's no data behind it. They don't have any data necessarily. They're just saying it. They're just saying it, and you're believing them that you should be putting your lineup in a certain manner, or you should be putting gear in a certain place, or upgrading a certain way. But there's no actual testing that went into this, like, over and over again. So just the other day, I ran 174 tests on air, and I found in that lineup, this very similar way, I found that you should do Carly, and then in the actual five of Carly, Lucius, Schuler, and Morrison. I found that the combo of Carly, Lucius, DVA, Schuler, and Morrison was the best combo to make as far as you're putting the squad formation when I removed all the gear in the gorilla. And I looked at these numbers. Now, I want to know it from your perspective as well. Like people that have just started, early servers, you have 2 stars on Kim, you have 3 stars on Stetman. Let's talk about it. Let's see what those battle reports say, and then we can put things together and piece it together and create a world where we all know exactly what's going on. I will continue to run these reports and give you actual mathematical data on which gear should be in what spot, how we should be upgrading our gear. Should it be 1 dot and 3 dots, 2 dots and 4 dots, and mythic gear, and what should be in place, because we're going to run those tests. I ask you to run those same tests with me in the WWC community. And I hope you do. I think together we can really change how we play this game that we love so much. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We will talk very soon. QB18 out.